大谷選手の春が始まりましたね。衝撃的な1打席目でした。本日は大谷選手について MLB 公式番組にて話されていましたので、そちらの動画と試合の実況をお聞きください。
Dodger baseball coming your way. We're about 12 minutes away. Shohei Otani's spring debut. He will lead off against Yusei Kikuchi of the Angels, new Angel edition. Tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern, right here on MLB Network against Shohei Otani. Back-to-back MVP in the American League, then the National League last year as we return here with Dan O'Dowd. Dan, I think this is a fascinating year for Otani. Last year, not pitching at all. He has 411 total bases, leads the league, 54 homers, 130 RBIs, 59 steals, caught only 4 times. And this year, they're going to ruin everything and let him pitch. How about that? I know I'm a killjoy on this, but like if I had this player,
yeah,
right?
I got you.
And if I had this player right now, if you had this player, your longtime GM, what would you do knowing that he can be a great pitcher, but can he be a great pitcher and be that offensive player at the same time?
Well, I mean, the reality of it, even if I was a GM, he's going to do what he wants to do, or he would never sign with me in my club, so I would have to let him pitch and hit. But from a pure baseball perspective, BK, when he hit and pitched, he averaged weighted run created plus between 140 and 150. He averaged around 40 home runs versus the numbers that you just put out. I just like for 20 starts that he's going to give you this year to keep him healthy, I think you're losing a lot of value. And you know what's crazy about it? Like I say this, the best predictor of future injuries or past injuries, he's been a 2-time recipient now of Tommy John. So unless he changes something dramatically in his delivery, I would assume that he'll have another one at some point in time.
Right now, the torn labrum is in the left shoulder, so he's not pitching with that, but he's coming off the surgery for his right elbow, and he did have it is on his body, a torn labrum. By the way, he's had hip issues. He kind of broke down, did not play the last month of 2023. Like, obviously, he's historic, he's doing unprecedented things. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to be a killjoy about it, but I'm just wondering if the Dodgers, in their quiet moments, Andrew Friedman and his team think, what's the best way of maximizing this talent? I wonder how often they think, can we minimize the pitching and keep the position player?
Well, you think about it, if he wasn't pitching, he wouldn't be DHing either. Like, we don't ever talk
about play right field.
So you think about his WAR value as a defensive player on top of his, he'd be a 10, 11, maybe a 12.
He's a 9-win player last year.
He might be 11, 12 win players. That means you're 11, 12 wins better than another player at that position when you start the season before it's even thrown.
Right.
And so we never talk about that.
All right, so you'd be tempted.
Oh, I'd be real tempted. I've said all along, I'd love to see him be a one-inning reliever, leverage guy. I don't know how you could pull that together, but I would only do that just to pacify him. I would like to run him out for 160-some games as an everyday position player. I think he'd be one of the best players to ever play the game.
See, I'd be really tempted to do that. I know it's difficult in the real world, but I'll tell you how much, if anybody out there thinks, oh, you know, I'm hating on him as a pitcher, I put him in my top 10 starting pitcher list this year.
Well, he's that good of a pitcher, too.
So that even coming off the surgery, I think he will end up having 130 excellent innings. But I think offensively, I don't think there's any way he can do what he did last year and be pitching at the same time. Do you?
No, and I definitely don't think he's going to come close to those stolen base numbers. I mean, he might get 20. I'm imagining he'll hit 40 home runs again, and his weighted runs created plus will be in the 150. I mean, MVP type numbers. But this guy was a lot better than that. I don't know how mentally he can handle that, the load on him. As great of a player as he is, I think you're asking the young man to do an awful lot.
Yeah, and he wants to do it, right? So the bottom line is,
he wants to do it. You're going to do it.
Take a look at the rotation for the Dodgers. If you want to see, I don't know what I got. I think we got a 14-man rotation. It's a pretty deep rotation, Dan. Now, maybe we're getting a little silly toward the back end.
No, you're not at all.
Even Landon Knack was getting real innings.
But all those guys towards the back end got innings at the big league level.
I mean, they added Blake Snell and Roki Sasaki.
So you think about this, rotation. BK, is that for them you got to cover almost 1,200 innings. That top grouping of guys, they don't need to pitch more than 120 innings because you have the guys all below them that are going to pick up the rest of those innings.
Dustin May's pitching tonight, by the way. He once had about the best stuff in the game. He's never stayed healthy, but like when you have this sort of depth, even with Roki Sasaki year one, you could aim, and I guess they will be aiming for, hey, can we get 90 innings to 110 out of everybody? That might do it.
I think that's their model.
Yeah.
I think that's the model. If they can, manipulate the roster with options and things of that nature to keep it happening, I think they've got truly 11 guys to cover all those innings, and I don't think they're going to load anybody. Blake Snell would be the one guy. Not that
he'll give you a full season, right?
He'll give you a full season. He doesn't pitch a ton of innings because he doesn't pitch deep into games, but I think he's the one guy they won't have a governor on, so to speak.
Right.
I think the rest of them are all going to have governors, and I think they plan on giving all these younger guys meaningful innings at the big league level.
It's kind of ironic that now, right, Blake Snell will be their horse. Not that you're getting 200 innings, but I think he goes deep enough in games.
He'll get 150, 160 innings this year.
Right, but pitching almost the whole season.
Correct.
He's been outstanding the last two. Some Dodgers news before we get you out to the ball game, just a few minutes away. It's from Sonia Chen, who says Roki Sasaki will make his Cactus League debut on Tuesday. So Yamamoto will start, Sasaki will follow. How about that? Hey, who do you think, I'm going to put you on the spot, 2 or 3 years from now, who's better, Roki Sasaki or Yoshi Yamamoto?
Sasaki, he's bigger physically. It's
really?
A more athletic body.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I think he has
good.
a chance to. Well, you said 2 or 3 years. I'm not even sure he's going to be in their opening day rotation right now.
MLB タイムズ。
Baseball's best player standing in for the first time this spring. He's been very active on the backfields, taking live BP back there, but now in a game for the first time. Kikuchi's pitch in for a strike. 310 a year ago, 54 home runs, 59 stolen bases. He drove in 130 runs, 38 doubles, 7 triples. The numbers off the chart. The accolades incredible, and the hardware he picked up, well, magnificent.
He was the who's who in baseball.
1-1 pitch to Otani. Swing and a miss. A curveball from Kikuchi. This is must-see stuff, folks.
First inning is standing room only, and that's in the lower section. Cameras, you better believe it.
This game also being shown live in Japan. Kikuchi and Otani went to the same high school. Kikuchi's 3 years Otani's senior, so they just missed each other when they were at Hanamaki Higashi High School in Iwate Prefecture. Played for Sasaki Hiroshi there, who was an excellent coach or manager and really recognized some great talent. He sent a lot of players, you know, like Kikuchi and of course Otani, straight to the pro ranks right out of high school. 3-2 pitch. That's hammered to left. This ball's heading back. This ball's gone. Welcome to 2025, Shohei Otani, as the show continues to roll.
Oh, if memory serves correct, did he not hit a home run in his first at bat last spring as well? And that one was also to left field. Well, there are enough cameras that are poised. Absolutely amazing.
It just sounds different.
It is different.
Wow. What a start.
毎年感じますが、大谷選手は何を起こすか分かりませんよね。いつも予想を上回ってくるので、今年は一体何をしてくれるのか楽しみですね。本日もご視聴ありがとうございました。チャンネル登録、高評価、よろしくお願いいたします。